Breath of the Wild's Hyrule is full of mystery, from the timeline placement to the mysterious Zonai tribe. However, there is one mystery that bugged me for a while that I did not have the answer to until I played the Age of Calamity. There are some items that was in Hyrule Castle at one point that should not even be found there in the first place. Until you think about the event of Age of Calamity for a moment and a underlooked rune on the Shiekah Slate. I'm Star Dragon 01 and welcome to my first installment of my video series, Hyrule Theory and Lore. To understand what I'm talking about, let's look at the DLC item. Each DLC item has a quest attached. No, mine is a Nintendo shirt, but that's a whole different can of worms. Anyway, the DLC splits into two categories. One groups or items or outfits found from older Zelda games, while the other are Breath of the Wild original items. One look at the original tells you where they are from and who made them. The Travel Medallion and the ancient horse gear were made by the Shiekah, obviously, based on the design. The Royal Guard set was created in Hyrule Castle for the Royal Guard. You can see the knights wearing these outfits in one of the memories. The Korok mask was most likely created by the Koroks. Oh, and Rex stuff? It just fell from the sky. I guess he dropped them. Anyway, the other DLC on the old school Zelda ones. These items should not exist in Breath of the Wild, but yet they do. Some of them, other characters will react to them. And even if you give a reason for their existence, some of them do not have any connection to Hyrule. Midna's and Zan's helmets are not only technically destroyed at the end of Breath of Twilight Princess, but they're also Twilight relics. The Phantom Ganon set is the only appeared once in Hyrule's history, but was banished between dimensions. These items have some direct impact in Hyrule, but the others are questionable at both. The Majora's Mask never caused any problem in Hyrule, and the Wapta shirt is just a 12-year-old boy's PJs. Ravio's hood is more so a Lorule treasure than a Hyrule one. Heck, the Phantoms from Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Track never even touch Hyrule. And one kit in the latter, New Hyrule. And then there's Tingle. The only thing Tingle is known for is selling expensive maps and believing fairies, and all of that was never in Hyrule. Well, maybe a Minish Cap, but then again, he didn't have that. He's more like a side character in that one, not really much of a direct impact. But anyway, all these items were at one point found in Hyrule Castle, but they were sold by Muskiko, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the Great Bandit. We know how they got to the location they found because the bandit was the one who put them there, but how did they get to Hyrule Castle in the first place? And why did the castle treasure them at all? When looking over these items, I realized something. They contradict each other. There is no way that the Wapta shirt can exist when Midna's helmet kit was used to help the hero of Twilight. Speaking of Midna, by the way, hers and Zan's helmets and the Phantom sets may be replicas, but they're way too exact to look like the way they are. Especially when there's limited eyewitnesses. Mostly just Link, who's, not much of a talker. being assigned with protectors and all. On the topic of Link, but let's talk about his counterpart, Ravio, who does also have a DLC item, his hood. He spent most of his time freeloading in his counterpart's house. And also turned his house into a shop, which is the only major customer with one of the sages of that game, and Link. So why would anyone in Hyrule bother remembering him or at most care about him? And one trick on someone that has no idea, let's talk about the Phantom that was fought in the Forest Temple in the Lost Woods. He was only fought, that version of Ganon, Phantom Ganon, was only fought the one time. And the only real witnesses to that encounter was Link, Na'vi, and Saria. Maybe Sheik. But other than that, there's literally no eyewitnesses. Oh, and he was banished into between dimensions. That'll be start off again. And by the way, I don't think the Lost Woods is a place that people will normally visit. Not especially even during that time when Hyrule was one of its most deadliest periods, besides Breath of the Wild. So, the more I think about it, these items, in a way, cannot exist under normal means. Time traveling and dimensional hopping are not normal means. What I am saying is that the Shiekah created a way to grab items from other timelines in other worlds. And how do I know this was the Shiekah? TotK, the mini guardian that Zelda built using TotK's heart. TotK not only traveled through time, which also kind of created a new timeline, he got hero from the other timeline. While Zelda did create him, she did use the Shiekah tech to do it. So the Shiekah made a device that grabs items in life form from other eras. Sound familiar? Well, there's a rune that does exactly that. After seeing TotK in action and looking at the DLC, I can safely say that all the DLC that the Great Thief stole from the castle were because of time travel. Don't believe me? Let's look at the amiibo reward. First, you get the outfit sets of past versions of Link, with every part look exactly the same, from the hair, the description, even the accessory that Link wore. Speaking of looking the same, upon look is also an amiibo reward. In every game that she appeared in, she had a different look to her, but in Breath of the Wild, she'll resemble more to her Zelda, to her Twilight Princess counterpart. So much so I think it's the same horse from Twilight Princess. The amiibo rune does not give you rewards just related to Link, but also give you items related to other Zelda characters, like the Sheik mask and the bow toy. Both items were used by the princess of their time to aid their hero. This also explains why there can be two Master Sword in Breath of the Wild. In case you forgot, the Goddess Sword was basically the Master Sword's original form, or wicked form, depending on how you see it. It also does not only give heroic items, but also villainous items. Like the sword from Twilight Princess, the Ganondorf sword he used to kill one of the sages. And that was compared to those items that were stolen from the castle. Some of them belong to evil force like Zant and Majora's Mask. Others belonging to people that help us the hero like Link, Ravio, and Tingle to a degree. And then there's the Lop Sword. It belongs to a previous hero. This is how the story went down. When the Shiekah Slate amiibo room was created, need a better name for that, they want to try it out, like a test. What better way to test it than getting artifacts of the past? Using information found in the Forgotten Temple, the Shiekah were able to uncover unseen events of the heroes of the past, like Link fighting Phantom Ganon in the Fortune, or his time traveling adventures in Tona. even in a world filled with trains and phantom knights. But after the calamity, the king at the time forbid the use of advanced Shiekah technology. However, the king kept the items from the Shiekah Slate trial for historic reasons. Then at some point between the first calamity to 100 years before Breath of the Wild, or sometime, or between that time, those items were stolen by Mint School, the Great Bandit, and hit them. Then he hit them all over the land of Hyrule. Damn this. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm Star Dragon 01, and you have a good day.